Good morning, students. Today I am going to explain you chapter number 3 of Hornbill book. The name of the chapter is Discovering Tut. The saga continues. It is written by A.R. Williams. So first of all, I'll introduce the lesson. The story deals with the mysteries and various theories regarding the life and death of the youngest ruler of ancient Egypt, Tutankhamun. His tomb was discovered in 1922 by the famous archaeologist Howard Carter, and since then his mummy has been subjected to a X-ray and later a CT scan. The investigators have answered a lot of questions and offered new clues on his life and death. So students, now I'll tell you the complete summary of the story. First of all, death of King Tut. King Tut was just a teenager when he died. He was the last heir of powerful family that had ruled Egypt and its empire for centuries. He was buried and forgotten over the years, but after the discovery of his tomb in 1922, the modern world wondered about the cause of his untimely death. He was brought out of his tomb, and recently a CT scan was done and ascertained the reason of his death. Next, students, the mummy of King Tut. At 6 p.m. on 5th January 2005, the world's most famous mummy was taken out from its burial tomb. As the mummy of King Tut was being put into the scanner for performing a CT scan, angry winds stirred and dark clouds covered the stars. The weather had been overcast all day, and the night sky was hidden by dark velvet clouds. The CT scan was being done to unearth the remaining medical mysteries that surrounded the untimely death of this young king, who died more than 3,300 years ago. King Tut's tomb lies 26 feet underground in the ancient Egyptian cemetery known as the Valley of the Kings. Next, students, Howard Carter and his findings. Howard Carter was a British archaeologist who in 1922 discovered King Tut's tomb after years of futile searching. Its contents remain the richest royal collection ever found. There were dazzling works of art in gold that had caused a sensation then continue to draw people's attention even today. King Tut was also buried with everyday things such as board games, a bronze razor, cases of food, clothes, wine, etc., that he would need in the life after death. Zahi Hawass, Secretary General of Egypt Supreme Council of Antiquities, explained that the mummy was in a very bad condition because of what Howard Carter did to it. Next is chisel out King Tut's mummy. Howard Carter tried to loosen the resins by putting the mummy outside in the sun that heated it to 149 degrees Fahrenheit. For several hours, the mummy was set outside in blazing sunshine, but nothing happened. He reported that the tough material had to be cut from under the limbs and trunk to free the king's remains. The royals in King Tut's time believed that they could take their fortune with them after death. Hence, King Tut was buried with all his expensive belongings to separate King Tut from his ornaments. Howard Carter's men removed the mummy's head and cut off nearly every major joint. Then they reassembled the remains of the body on a layer of sand in a wooden box with padding. Students, next is King Tut's mummy X-rayed. Archaeology has changed since then, focusing less on treasures and more on the fascinating details of life and fascinating mysteries of death. It also uses more sophisticated tools. In 1968, more than 40 years after Howard Carter's discovery, an anatomy professor x-rayed the mummy and revealed an astonishing fact that beneath the resins that caked King Tut's chest, his breastbone and front ribs were missing. King Tut's demise was a big event, even by the royal standards, as he was the last ruler of his family. Next, students, King Tut and his ancestors. King Tut's father or grandfather, Amenhotep III, was a powerful king who ruled for almost 4 decades. His son Amenhotep IV succeeded him. He was a very strange king. He promoted the worship of Aten, the sun disk, and changed his name to Akhenaten. He moved his religious capital from Thebes to Akhenaten, now known as Amarna. He shocked the country by attacking a major god, Amun, by breaking his images and closing down his temples. Ray Johnson, director of the University of Chicago's Research Center in Luxor, called the king very odd. He said it must have been a terrible time for the people because the family that had ruled for centuries was coming to an end. After Akhenaten's death, Semenkhare, a mysterious ruler, ruled for a brief period and departed with hardly any sign. It was then that a very young king, Tut Akhenaten, took over the throne. The boy soon changed his name to Tut Ankhamun, known as King Tut today. He oversaw revival of the old ways. King Tut ruled for 9 years and then died unexpectedly. Next, students, King Tut's mummy and his city scan. King Tut is one mummy among many in Egypt. No one knows how many mummies there are in Egypt. The Egyptian Mummy Project has recorded almost 600 and is still counting. King Tut's mummy was the first mummy to be CT scanned to ascertain the secret of his death by a portable scanner donated by National Geographic Society and Siemens. King Tut's entire body was scanned. On the night of the scan, workmen carried from his tomb and rose it on a hydraulic lift into a trailer that held the scanner. However, initially the costly scanner could not function properly because of sand in the cooler fan. But soon all the hurdles were crossed, and after the scan, the king was returned to his coffin to rest in peace. The CT scan showed an astonishing image of King Tut and his entire body very clearly. It showed a very grey head, neck vertebrate, a hand, several images of the rib cage, and a section of the skull. Jahi Hawass was relieved that nothing had seriously gone wrong. As the technicians left the trailer, they saw the seer constellation, which the ancient Egyptians knew as the soul of Osiris, the god of the afterlife. They felt as if the god was watching over the boy king. So, students, this is the complete summary of the chapter. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay safe, stay healthy.